The Lincoln Patriots are proud to participate in National Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Breast cancer remains the second leading cause of death among women in the United States. About 1 in 8 U.S. women will develop breast cancer over the course of her lifetime. The good news is that most women can survive breast cancer if it's found and treated early. If you're a woman age 40 to 49, talk with your doctor about when to start getting mammograms and how often to get them. If you're a woman between 50 and 74, be sure to get a mammogram every 2 years. You may also choose to get them more often. Tonight, the Lincoln football team will be playing their game in honor of Kirsten Smith. Kirsten is the mother of Jonathan Smith, number 79, and a breast cancer survivor.
Welcome to Howard Wood Field here, and tonight we have crosstown rivals Washington facing off against Lincoln here tonight. The final game of the regular season, we have the current number 3 seed Warriors here facing off against their crosstown rival Lincoln.
And tonight, obviously, a huge inter-city rivalry. The talent level, record-wise, isn't too competitive here. Washington sitting at 3rd seed at 6-2. Lincoln sitting at currently the 7th seed at 2-6. But, you know, these are crosstown rivals here. They're going to play each other tough. Don't expect an easy cakewalk for Washington here.
And Washington, they are on I believe, a 5-game win streak as of now. We'll see if they can push that yet again here, though. This will be a tougher test, probably the toughest test they've faced over this 5-game run.
Well, yes, Washington obviously started out good win against Brandon Valley, 2 very poor losses against Roosevelt and O'Gorman. 5 straight wins, but the most impressive team out of those 5 is probably Brookings Bobcats, a 27-7 win there. Meanwhile, Lincoln started out the season pretty hot with a big win against Central, a close loss to a good Brandon Valley team in overtime, but then went on a very poor skid, getting blown out by Roosevelt and O'Gorman, and their only other win so far this year is against Rapid City Stevens, who currently is looking like they will be the one team not to make the playoffs in 11-man AAA football this season.
It will be interesting to see how this game goes. Like you said, there seems to be a talent mismatch, but Washington hasn't really looked their dominant selves this year, and it'll be interesting to see. The last time they played a crosstown rival, they got beat.
Yes, and Washington, obviously, a fully healthy or close to healthy Warrior team here. Lincoln tonight, without their starting running back, Austin Sorensen, we believe. But like we said, don't look at record when it comes to this inter-city rivalry, because both have brought a good amount of fans, a good amount of students here, and there's no huge advantage here
for really either team. I mean, we'll see. And Lincoln will get the ball first, chance for them possibly to get momentum here as Washington will kick off. So it'll be Luke Barron's a kickoff. You see pink all over the field as in October, Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and that tradition, the last game that Washington plays typically at Howard Wood is pink theme. Same with many other teams, especially with Washington with their t-shirts. And now here comes the return for the Patriots, and gets to the 24 before he's pulled down there by a host of Warriors. So first down, Patriots at the 24, as we'll see Tommy Thompson and the Patriot offense coming out here.
Tommy Thompson, a young sophomore quarterback. He's shown some good. Had some okay games. He's had some average games. He's had some good games. But the main part is he's a sophomore, and he will only grow and mature over these next 2 years of Patriot football.
Exactly. Interesting to see, especially with Washington knowing they're going to lose a big class of seniors. It'll be interesting to see who really dominates these next few years, as it's an up and down game high school football is. Thompson in the backfield, and I believe they're going to get a offsides call there on number 25, Adam Derlin, for the Warriors. That's a senior leader. You don't like to see that, especially this late in the season, those type of mistakes here for the Warriors. 1st and 5. It'll be interesting to see now how they can respond to that. I mean, not even one play in, already a penalty. We'll see how they respond to that. The thing is, Adam Derlin did have that penalty against him, but he is one of the key parts of this defense, and that's going to be a big story as 2 good defensive ends in Peyton Newsom and Adam Derlin go off against two solid tackles in Noah Brown and Grant Triber, the latter committed to play football at Iowa State University.
Yes, and a big storyline is not just happening on this field tonight, but around the area as O'Gorman and Brandon Valley face off tonight. The number 1 and number 4 seeds. Washington's tied with Brandon in seed points, but has the tiebreaker on head-to-head, and also Roosevelt and Watertown 2 and 5 seeds facing off. So this should be a lot of implications here.
Interesting night for high school football here in South Dakota. Has Thompson in the backfield. This one he will hand it off. Broke a tackle, got the first down. That was number 34, Sam Southwick, on the carry for the Patriots. They get a first down there, and I mean, once again, benefiting. You take away that penalty right now, it would be 3rd and 5 for Lincoln, but thanks to the penalty, first down Patriots, see if they can get some momentum.
Just a poor thing, I mean, the first play of the game, Adam Derlin defense, senior end being drawn off sides by starting, by the snap count of a sophomore quarterback. That's just a mistake you can't make there.
And now Thompson in the pistol. He's dropping back. Pressure coming. That's Newsma on the pressure. He's going to have to run out. Tommy Thompson is going to pull it down and be knocked out of bounds. I believe no gain on the play there. So good pressure there with the Warriors. That's going to be a storyline here. We have a solid offensive line for the Patriots going up against a good defensive line of the Warriors. Interesting to see here, especially with someone like Schreiber, one of South Dakota's highest rated recruits here this year, and obviously committed to play football at Ohio State. Interesting to see how he holds up. Not Ohio State, excuse me. Big jump, Iowa State. How he holds up against some of the state's better D linemen. And now Tommy Thompson rolls out. Pressure coming. And that's going to be a sack. No, excuse me. They're going to gain yards there as Tommy Thompson ends up just running the football there. 4-yard gain, I believe, pulled down by Matt Roosh and Randolph Kapai there. I believe Matt Roosh, was the first one to get him. So 3rd and 6 now coming up for the Patriots here. And it'll be once again Tommy Thompson in the gun. Tommy Thompson shares a name with a U.S. soccer player. In fact, Tommy Thompson now in the gun, and pressure coming, and they're going to get him. Absolutely, he went untouched. That's Nate Freeze getting involved there for a rare sack from him. Good to see him producing for the defense here.
And good with Washington setting a safety blitz on that. Honestly, setting Freeze up. That's good. You don't see that too often, so Lincoln won't be expecting that.
That was a good play call there by the Washington Warriors. I mean, and no one touched him. They had no idea who was coming. He had free reign to the quarterback. Nothing. Tommy Thompson didn't really get a chance to even look. And that's something you got to do against a team with 2 solid offensive tackles. They know the pass protection is going to be good at least. So interesting that they brought pressure along with that great D-line that almost doesn't need extra pressure. And the punt caught there by Freddie Frederick. He went down to his knees to get it. Nothing. Here, 9:26 left in the first quarter. Washington gets the ball at the 37. We'll see if they can move the ball here and hopefully start off with a score and get things moving against crosstown rival. They had a good defensive. That the last thing you wanted there is just give up a touchdown on that first possession. But here comes Johansson and Tupac Capella once again for the Warriors. The dynamic duo for them and that offense, and then that's the fake handoff there, and the play action went to Jacob Smith there. A little screen play got about 4 yards, so 2nd and 6 coming up for the Warriors.
And of course, a big storyline last week in Washington's blowout win against Rapid City Central was Tupac Capella setting the all-time touchdown record for South Dakota football. Very impressive record there.
I believe he's also coming up on the all-purpose yards record as well, so possibly another record-breaking night for Capella. And a long throw there by Johansson, and he has a man, and that's going to be Gabe Pearson. He's open, running on the sideline to the 10, 5. He is in, I believe. He hit the pylon. Touchdown, Warriors. And he had a good step on the corner there. Touchdown, Warriors. They take a 6-0 lead here early on in the first quarter. That's exactly what you want to see from the Warrior offense.
Where offense was all about big plays last week, mainly on the running game with the long touchdown runs by Capella and Johansson. But Johansson and these speed receivers, it just takes one play to get a big yardage. Or
they have electric players all over the field. They have big play potential everywhere, and you can see it as we just saw in the passing game, or of course in the running game with Tupac Capella. Freddie Frederick now for the extra point is no good. That one is no good there. Freddie Frederick misses it, 6-0. So Lincoln salvages a little momentum, just a little bit. But Washington overall dominating this game, and we're not even yet a full 3, or not even yet a full 4 minutes in.
And I mean, you look at that. And Frederick, the storyline to watch here is he missed an extra point last week. Washington doesn't have a true great kicker like he did Brock Walker last season. It's about start with Luke Barons, now move to Freddie Frederick. So the kicking game's solid, but not something, if this game were to come down to a...
Not something they'd be
not
confident.
Something they'd be confident, yeah, for Frederick field goal. No.
Luke Barons prepares to kick off the Warriors. And these for the Patriots, Ben Cobb and Kate.
So now it's going to be Barons again to kick off. Once again, Washington, they went right down the field. 2 plays, I believe, is all it took for them to score on Lincoln. Looking like their offense is continuing the way they're going last week.
And yes, yes, Washington, obviously, you look at a huge play there. But, oh, look, they're going to be dominant here. I wouldn't say that, give Lincoln, this offense isn't explosive for Lincoln, but it works.
The return coming. Cuts into the middle of the field, gets knocked down at the 20. Good kick coverage there by the Warriors. Actually got to the 21 to the Patriots, but overall good kick coverage there from them. Early on here in the first quarter, 6-0. Warriors have the lead. And the offense with Tommy Thompson comes trotting back out. We'll see if they can get some movement here against Washington. Obviously, this game, whether or not Lincoln's good or Washington's good, it doesn't really matter. This game is always circled on the schedule for both teams. Arguably the biggest rival that they have in terms of just traditional rivals. Here as Lincoln hands it off. No, excuse me. Tommy Thompson sold the ball. Option ends up running the option. I believe that's number 11, Wyatt Vandentott, the wide receiver on the option play with Tommy Thompson to get 2 yards, bringing up 2nd and 8 for the Patriots.
Like I said, longest one, you look at Lincoln, Washington, been rivals since the 1960s. Here, Roosevelt, not, up in the 90s and stuff like that. No, it's a good, no matter which team's good, which team's bad, there's always a chance for an upset.
Always a chance when you're talking crosstown rivals. And you've seen it in other sports many times, and it's gone both ways. So now, Thompson driving back in there, it's pressure coming from everywhere, and that is a sack for the Warriors. Randolph Kapai virtually untouched yet again. Interesting, we're seeing issues with this offensive line from Lincoln.
Especially interesting because, it's not just a good senior offensive line. This is Graham Triber, a commit to Iowa State, had offers from Oregon, had offers from a lot of big, area schools. And, yes, he can't block the whole line, but at the same time, you have other seniors like Noah Brown and stuff who just have to be able to...
Yes, interesting to see how quick the Warriors got through the line. And obviously, maybe, they seem to be dialing up a little more pressure as well here as Thompson's going to get the snap again. More pressure coming. He has no time to throw, but it's a screen. Doesn't matter. Vandentott on it, and he is going to get just past the line of scrimmage, just for a gain of 2. Gets it to 2nd and 8, so that's a gain of 11. Not near enough on the 3rd and 19. So they're going to have to punt again, and Washington looks like they're going to have good field position again.
And yeah, Nolan Ransom needs to have a decent punt here, or else Washington can get some good field position around midfield here. We'll see.
Anderson along with...
And
in the last few years, we've seen this game get ugly. There's potential of that happening here. We're not even halfway through the first quarter. It's been all Warriors, and that is not going to help the cause of the Patriots as they get a 11-yard punt.
There is some good wind tonight, obviously.
There is some good wind, yes, but that one just hung up more than you'd expect there, and that barely moved. 11-yard punt. 1st and 10, Warriors at the 34. We're talking about them having good field position. I was more speaking about maybe the other 34, but that obviously is not how that went, and the Warriors will get the ball at the Lincoln 34, and we'll see if their offense can once again just get a quick score. That's what they've been about, especially the last few games. Hand off to Tupac Capella, and Capella gets all the way to the 22, gain of 12. 1st and 10 Warriors, and that was the first handoff to Tupac. Well, it's crazy to think that was only the 3rd Warrior offensive play.
Yeah, no, it's just, and they're usually heavy Tupac Capella offense. No, Johansson's proven to be a good, solid quarterback. Yeah.
And now handoff again to Pacapea. And he is looking to make moves, and he gets 7-yard pickup there. Right now, nothing seems to be going Lincoln's way when it comes to them on defense.
No, not defense. This Warrior offense. You look at their last game against Rapid City Central. The Cobblers had one stop on the Warrior offense, and that was when halftime ended it on a Johansson incomplete pass in the end zone. Washington scored on every one of their other possessions. It's just this offense is really
starting to click, and this is the time you want it. They're looking like probably the team that's most fit to challenge a team like OG in that dome game. We'll see how this works out as Johansson fires one across the middle, touchdown. Gabe Pearson again. That's his second of the game in the first quarter. 5:29 left here in the first quarter. Now goes to 12-0 Warriors as they will possibly go for 2 here to try and get back that extra point that they missed.
Looks like they will here.
And yes, it does look like
to get
they
back
will.
on the field here. Quickly running in. So.
And now the Warriors setting up here. I believe they actually brought in a fullback of sorts. I think that's Gabe Frericks, listed as a linebacker, but coming in, this looks more of a power setup here as Capella, virtually untouched, walks in the end zone. 14-0. Washington has a lead here. 5:29 left in the first. It's been all Warriors here tonight, and that's been shown. And we are yet just halfway through the first quarter.
It's not the most surprising thing. I mean, Washington is a dominant team. They look to be locking up that possible 2 seed tonight. More than likely 3. They need. I mean, I said about how. If you're going to roll up possible losers, they need a bunch of AA games to happen. So most likely the seed standings will stay as they are with O'Gorman, Roosevelt, Washington, and Brandon Valley hosting playoff games next week. And then we'll see. And if Washington does win tonight, keep the number 3 seed, they should be out of O'Gorman's bracket, barring any major upsets here in the playoffs. But we said this last week. This year, we could see an upset in the playoffs this year. Some of these teams like Rapid City Central.
Outside of O'Gorman, every team looks susceptible.
Yep.
Will be Luke Barron.
So Luke Barron's now will kick off for the Warriors. That the ball goes off the tee. They're probably going to have to get someone to hold it.
We give it one more chance here.
Now Barons will walk back, get prepared to kick again. And now Barons will kick off, and here it goes. That one is going to get in the end zone. Touchback. Rare touchback for the Warriors, not typical, but of course they have the win at their back. Good kick there by Barons to get to the end zone.
It's the wind blowing right to left here on your screen here at Howard Wood Field, and that's obviously what contributed to Ransom's poor punt that last possession. So should be interesting to see how that affects field position with punting here tonight.
Yeah, and as out comes a Lincoln offense, Tommy Thompson. You're looking at this. We're not even halfway through the first quarter. You're already looking at a drive that's almost. I mean, it's almost a must-score type of drive there as number 34, Sam Southwick, gets shut down there after no gain.
And, yeah, like you said, I mean, it's only first quarter.
And this is just more bad news here coming for the Patriots as Grant Triber is down, holding, I think he's looking at his knee as he punches the ground. He seems to be in intense pain. Always a worry with those bigger offensive linemen, the knee area, always susceptible when playing the offensive line, and he is down right now and looks to be in some pain as both teams will.
And Warrior student section settles down after originally doing a chant here, being respectful here, all the players, and this could be, and this it doesn't. And this is more of a storyline for Grant than Lincoln, because Grant Triber, he's trying to go. He's had a big 3-star recruit to Iowa State. He's got to think about his collegiate future. He's trying to get into the 2019 Under Armour All-American game here in this.
Oh, and he is up, but it looks like he's going to need some help. Not really putting any weight on it or trying not to.
Which knee is it?
I believe it's his right leg. Can't exactly say for sure
It's in the knee,
what the
but
problem
right
is.
leg,
He
yeah.
looks to be walking a little bit on it. That's an interesting storyline to follow. Triber, of course, would love to finish off his senior season playing, but he has a lot to think about, future-wise. So it's a storyline for him.
And we talk about Lincoln's offensive line already being struggling here. Triber out the best lineman this week. Thompson really might have to start running out the pocket a lot here. The pocket is not safe for Tommy Thompson. It already wasn't.
It already wasn't, and now you take off. You take off who was your left tackle, and now Noah Brown moves over to left tackle. They bring in a substitute right tackle, and as they hand the ball off up the middle, absolutely shut down for a gain of 1 there. So 3rd and 9 coming up. Things just continue to look progressively worse here for that Patriot offense.
And yeah, 3rd down 9. I mean, here's the thing. They have a 3 and out here. It's just, really all the momentum. You just lost your best player. You just... Now the 3 and out. This game's not. We're not even gonna say this game's close to being over at all. Lost the exam. It's just when you lose so much momentum, it's really hard to try and rally the troops.
Exactly,
here.
Especially sitting 3rd and 9, knowing how dominant Washington's been recently in the series. As pressure comes, Thompson gets it off and passes incomplete. Actually made a good play with how much pressure he was under. Then Thompson, I think a semi-accurate ball just wasn't caught there by, I believe, that Logan Needles, who was targeted. So 14-0 here, 4:17 left in the first, and Washington will be getting the ball back yet again.
And you look at and this punt from Ransom, wind blowing, pretty good here against Ransom. Only surprised if this ball stays inside the 40.
Oh, and it looks like Washington, the way they're lined up, could possibly bring pressure, try and block this punt. Interesting to see. And they're getting closer than you think. That was a strong punt into the wind. Gets all the way to the 45-yard line. Again, only a 25-yard punt, but considering the wind, that was a strong punt there.
That's a good job by Ransom, the senior punter. He's just honored for senior night. And that's the thing, special. Now the problem is though, when it comes to these kind of games with, already 14-0 special teams, it probably won't come down to something like kicking, field goals and stuff like that. You need to stop watching right here. And 2 touchdown passes to Gabe Pearson. The first 2 drives aren't really showing.
And there was no real defensive.
It wasn't there wasn't a 3rd down or anything. It
wasn't a 3rd down. I don't think they ever got past 2nd down. To be completely honest, as I throw it over the middle, Jed Anderson, who's still running, still on his feet is Anderson, and he gets down to the 11. Actually, you're going to mark him at the 12-yard line, by the 12-yard line. So that's a
32-yard pass right off the bat. It's just
right off the bat, and the things just go from bad to worse here for the Patriots, and you wonder, it's not. I don't even know if it's really a thing of their secondary is struggling. It's just that Washington throws 4 wideouts, including Capella, sometimes out there. Tough to stop, especially with a quarterback like Johansson. As they run the option, here goes Johansson. Gets the outside, hurdles a man, and gets thrown down at the 8-yard line.
Johansson on the keeper, making the tackle for the Patriots.
So 14-0 it remains here at Howard Wood.
And I think they're going to put Triber on the card here.
So yep. Triber, interesting storyline to watch. Grant Triber for Lincoln going to be put on the card, although he seems to be at least putting a little bit weight on it. I think they're going to take him to the locker room. That is a huge blow for the Patriots, as we wish the best for the young man. Of course, the Iowa State commit there, and an old friend of mine, actually, so I wish the best for him. Hopefully he's okay, as Johansson, long pass, just long, and he was looking for Gabe Pearson. He wanted a hat trick of touchdowns in just the first quarter. And this is a game that, this has to be the most impressive Warriors start we've seen. Even if you look at last week, you just knowing Lincoln has some talent. They've played well in some games. Washington right now looks dominant.
Let's talk about he's caught 2 touchdowns. He's going to be single coverage at top of the screen. Gabe Pearson didn't play football. He's a basketball star. He'll start for basketball this season for Washington. This is his first year playing football at high school level, and he's just done great.
As Capella makes a move, still on his feet, somehow gets to the 6. So Gain of, actually they're going to mark him down to 5. Gain of 4 there by Capella. So good run there. Actually, they just spot back to the 6. So still a solid run. 4th down, and not showing a lot of confidence in the kicking game here. 4th down and 4 at the 6-yard line. Washington already up 14-0. I think they're just going to go for it here. And Johansson in the gun. Hand off to Tupac Capella. Has to bounce outside, and that's going to be hard to stop. That is hard to stop out there. And the thing is, there were people right there in Tupac's face. All he had to do was bounce to the outside. He has unbelievable breakaway speed. That was great.
That was number 14, Avery Rice. They were trying to tackle Capella. And he just, I mean, he was right there. He was within feet of him. Just Tupac has
He was within inches of him. He was right at him. All Tupac had to do was throw an arm and get to the outside. That is just the impressive skill level of Tupac Capella that we've seen really the last 3 years. It's impressive. Obviously, look at him. He's going to end up with a lot of state records. Not just Washington records, state records here at Washington High School. As the snap goes way long, I'm sure the Warriors are just going to fall on it. No, Freddie Frederick's going to try and run a little bit with it. Didn't get anywhere. So Washington, again, special teams not really doing so hot. But when you're up 20-0, it's not exactly in the front of your mind, is it?
No, it's not too big of a deal here. I mean, yeah, you look at Washington, yeah, special teams, but makes a good point. Does it matter this game? No. Will it matter come a semifinal or possible Dakota Dome game?
Especially when you look at the way they played against Roosevelt. Now Roosevelt has looked extremely susceptible in these last few weeks, but that they have been playing without a number of starters.
Well, it comes down
to an interesting story to watch.
Every one of Washington's, and there are 3 trips to the Dome here under Coach Statham. Their semifinal games and dome games are usually pretty close, and just a little miscue like that. I mean, 1, 2, 3 point.
And that's not something like Washington has really had to worry about for the past 3 years.
Went to Minnesota, Big Ten school.
A Big Ten, another of those. There's a couple of Big Ten players from past Warrior teams. Seth Benson at Iowa, and Will and Matt Farniok both at Nebraska, and now Barons will kick off here for the Warriors. He's the one who is replacing Brock Walker, and this one will be able to be returned there. And this is a solid return to the 26. And so that's going to bring up 1st and 10 here for the Patriots.
What you know about Washington, and this is really Washington. They had some pretty bad losses there. They look pretty good. The test for Washington will not come this week. It will not come next week. It will come in their semifinal game. We'll get CK. Are these Warriors ones that can run with them in the years past? Have they gotten over these early season kinks? Or is this possibly the end of the Warriors looking for a 4-peat? Maybe it doesn't happen.
Maybe they have peaked already, and it'll be interesting to see a lot of seniors though on the team, and that's going to help no matter what. There, as a flag comes out, as the Patriots get a solid gain of 4 there on the run right up the middle. Flag down on the play. Interesting to see what's called here. This is going to be, I believe it's going to be on the Patriots. So that's just going to move them back. That kind of takes away all that progress made. I mean, 4 yards right up the middle against Washington. You'll take that anytime you can get it.
And Washington has a pretty good running defense here, and it's just, yeah.
Illegal formation.
And illegal formation there. Patriots 20-0 here. Just 2:30 left. It's still the first quarter. That's not 2 minutes 30 seconds left in the half. That's 2 minutes 30 seconds left in the first quarter. As it now goes back to 1st and 15 here for the Patriots as Washington looks to continue their dominance. I don't think they've given up a first down. Oh, they gave a first down on the first drive, but outside of that, nothing's really gone for the Patriots. As Thompson again throws it out to the right for Logan Needles, and he is wrapped up immediately there by Zachy Ledoux. That goes absolutely nowhere. Knocked down in the backfield. That's another loss there for the Patriots, and that's a loss of 5. So the 2nd and 20, Lincoln moving in the wrong direction here. And you got to wonder what the motivation is right now, what the morale level is of a team that just lost their star offensive lineman. They trailed 20-0. Nothing has gone their way.
That's not too great.
Interesting to see. And this is like we were talking about last week when Washington was starting to separate themselves from Rapid City Central. How will they come out morale? This is the first quarter here. That's the difference this week. Washington looks like this has probably been their most complete game so far. I haven't seen their defense and offense click at the same time quite yet, and now they are.
Fans are loving a pretty hardy student section they've got here.
And the reverse, I believe, it's a trick play. They're going to end up passing it to Logan Needles, and he makes the grab. And that one all the way to the 49 there. The trick play dialed up the reverse that turned into a pass there from Vandentop, I believe, who threw it.
Vandentop, or was it Ransom?
Might have been, actually, I believe it was Ransom. So Ransom throws it to Needles.
Quarterback in middle school, and he's made a great switch to wide receiver here at Lincoln. He's done a good job, and he still shows those quarterback skills right there.
Yeah,
Lincoln's most explosive player.
Yeah, Lincoln starting to get some movement there, and it's back to a drop. No, that's actually going to be picked off, and they're going to say incomplete. I'm not sure if that ball actually hit the ground. That took a strong bounce if that hit the ground. Interesting to see here on the replay.
The pass from Thompson was intended for Zach Hansen. It's incomplete.
From our replay, it doesn't look like it hit the ground. I don't believe they can review it, but Washington should have just had an interception from our replay that we're seeing up here. That was interesting play, 20-0. It remains there as the Patriots catch a break. And they hand the ball off up the middle. That's number 34, Sam Southwick on the run. He gets gain of 2. So now brings up 3rd and 8 again. These are not the positions Lincoln really wants to be in, or any team for that matter. No, 3rd and long is not comfortable for any team.
No, and if you're Lincoln, I mean, and I don't mean to sound like this game's over. It's not over, but Lincoln, what you got to be hoping for is, yes, this young, inexperienced quarterback. Hopefully Thompson, in 2 years as a senior, might have a name recognition like the other starters around here, Joe Hansen, Dan and Bring. You know, I mean, a young quarterback, he's got to be thrown in. He's had a solid season.
And he will, once again, be taking the snap here.
Oh, he'll run the quarter out.
And they are going to run the quarter out. So, end of the first quarter, Washington leads 20-0. It's been all Washington. The Patriots finally starting to get some offensive action. We'll be back for the start of the second quarter. Once again, 20-0. Washington with the lead. We are back here at Howard Field. 20-0 is the score. Washington just kind of outperforming Lincoln right now. Not even close so far. 20-0. Really,
big 3rd and 8 for Lincoln right here.
Yeah, big 3rd and 8. If they want any momentum, they got to score here at some point before half. And pressure coming again. Randolph Kapai. That's Tommy Thompson who got off. And then the Warrior pass defense is there to make the stop. I believe that's Robert Doherty on the coverage there.
He's got a senior tight end, Zach Hansen. Hansen is kind of one of those, he's a senior on this team. He can have some games where he just doesn't do too well. He has some games like against Stevens the other week where he just goes off. He's kind of a hit-and-miss player.
And now they will come out to punt here, 4th and 8 for Lincoln, as they will once again be giving the ball right back to the Warriors. Things don't look like they're going to improve anytime soon here for the Patriots, as they have to punt again to the Warriors and give them the ball.
No, Ransom does have the wind here.
He does have the wind here, so that is one thing they will have as an advantage. It's a low kick, but just takes a good bounce, and I believe that's out around the 5-yard line. They're going to call that out at the 6-yard line. So good punt there by Ransom. Maybe possibly giving Lincoln actually gets a reward for their big play to Logan Needles.
And some of these stats so far now, as we've seen, Johansson passing is 4 of 5 for 111 yards, 2 touchdowns. Capella 4 rushes, 27 yards, and Pearson 2 catches, 74 yards and 2 touchdowns. Lincoln on the other end, I mean, Thompson's 2 of 4 for 6 yards. Ransom's 1 of 1 for 32. That's their best play. Southwick 5 rushes, 8 yards, and Needles 2 catches.
And that's Capella. Broke a tackle, gets the outside, still moving, and he had one man to beat. He beats that man. He is gone, folks. Wow, Capella, he just went right through the defense, breaking tackles left and right there. It looks like, every time it looks like he's down, it seems like he makes a move to get out of it. He was one broken tackle away from taking that one to the house for 94 yards.
And we know he can do. He's got the speed.
He definitely has the speed, and he has the elusiveness as well.
The route, the original running route, changes a lot with him, you'll see.
And now the option there run by Johansson, still on his feet. So good read option play there by Johansson. Gets 15-yard gain. Washington moving the ball right out of that little hole they were in when they were up 1st and 10 at the 6. They already have it down to the 35, so they are moving right along.
And Johansson, big runner. He had 90 rushing yards and a big 75-yard touchdown run last week. A lot of times they'll have these runs with him. He fumbles. He'll shut it down for us tonight, so we'll see how that goes tonight.
Has Johansson once again in the gun. This time he will hand off to Capella. And still on his feet is Capella. Still on his feet. 7-yard gain. He is just impressive to watch, and tonight he is no different.
Tupac Capella is someone, that I've said this before. You have good high school players, but a lot of students will remember. I was a student watching Tupac Capella plays. One of the best players, one of the best South Dakota high school football players of all time.
Of all time, yes.
Shattering records. Great for a...
And now the handoff again. Tupac Capella breaks a tackle, gets the outside, just dragged down there at the 44-yard line. So another first down for the Warriors.
Good first down for us. And Lincoln's defense still showing no answer for this Warrior off. I mean, we have not seen a Warrior punt. We've seen one Warrior. We've seen a 4th down, but they got it. It was a 4th and long, too, and Capella just ran right by Avery Rice there and just
waltzed into the end zone. So now 1st and 10. This one's another option play here as Johansson keeps it, just runs out of bounds after a 8-yard gain. Here bringing up 2nd and 2 as that offense once again just keeps on rolling.
And great, I mean, yeah, you need, if you're Lincoln, you just need to get stopped. Because, I mean, at this point, you have a thing with Triber, and if he can come back here, will they even put him in at this point? You know, if it's a blog, probably.
You never know. As Capella goes up the middle, breaks a tackle, and just dives his way to the 22-yard line. Just domination here from Capella. It's a 14-yard run, and he makes it look easy. As 9:56 left in the second, and Washington still leads 20-0 as they continue to move the football. Interesting to see how the crowd will eventually start to dwindle, as we've seen in games past where it's Lincoln versus Washington. Interesting to see how long Washington keeps its starters in once the second half starts. As read option there, Johansson still on it, gets a block on the outside, still on it, going infield, gets to the 6-yard line. So another good run by the Warriors. I mean, really no answer coming from the D-line of the Patriots, especially with, they have seniors out there. They have seniors like Jacob Murphy out there and many other seniors on that defense. And right now, Washington just make it look easy. And it's not a thing where, I mean, Washington's offensive line has struggled at times, but right now they're looking dominant. And part of it is because Capella, I mean, they could really mess up, but Capella could make up for it there as Johansson tried to pass it to Gabe Pearson, looking for that 3rd touchdown. Incomplete over the middle, so that'll bring up 2nd and goal from the 6 for the Warriors. 9:21 left in the half.
If you're Lincoln right now, I mean, I think it comes down to if you can hold to a field goal, that's big. I mean, if they give him a touchdown, it's really just like Washington just got this offensively. They're not going to be able to be stopped.
Oh, and Washington's offense right now has just been electric. And it doesn't look like Lincoln can really conjure up that many stops. Or, matter of fact, here, as Washington does a little trick play here, running the ball now and then passes it to the end zone. That's going to be the pass from Tyus Hansen to Jaden Johansson there on the trick play. Touchdown Warriors.
Complete to Johansson.
And not too surprising
there. Interesting play call there.
How, Tyus Hansen is the backup quarterback, so, he's got experience. And that was it's so true. So, Lincoln pulls a trick play out. Washington does the same thing. Washington's results in a touchdown. Lincoln's results, explosive play. Just after that, they just stalled.
No real reward for them. Washington, once again, going to have to go for 2 after the snap error, last extra point. So, Johansson steps back. They're going to throw it, and that one is actually picked off by Jacob Murphy. 26-0 it remains here. 9:14 left in the half. All Warriors here.
Yes, and good stop there by Murphy. It's only 2 points. One of the senior leaders on this team here for Lincoln. But no, all you talk about, it is all Warriors, and this is Washington showing they are talent-wise the better team. Better team so far this year.
And you look around the state. You look around the state here. As Washington, those first 3 weeks were rough. They beat Brandon Valley, not in an impressive fashion. They don't really contend with Roosevelt. OG does the same thing to them, and the way they respond is excellent. I mean, they won 5 in a row, and they're going to make it. They're most likely going to make it 6 tonight. You look at that; they got to be one of the most informed teams heading into the playoffs.
Yeah, you look at Washington. Their worst game, they looked awful against Roosevelt. Well, Roosevelt is looking pretty poor here these last few weeks, but we'll see. Washington's doing good here, but how have they changed when they face off against one of those 2 teams that handed them and lost early this season in Roosevelt?
And as this is a short kick with the wind, I believe that was an intentional short kick there as the return gets to the 26, as the returner is just wrapped up by a host of Warriors. So now that's going to be 1st and 10 for the Patriots yet again from the 26-yard line. Actually, they're going to have it marked at the 27-yard line. So 1st and 10 for the 27. Tommy Thompson comes trotting out again here for the Patriots.
And Thompson, young quarterback here, he's got a big deficit here, and we'll see what he does.
Pressure coming again. Needles was not ready for that pass. He was open. He just wasn't really paying attention. I believe that ball actually nailed him in the leg there, as he's going to have to come off. Possibly hit him in the groin area. I don't know. He looks like he's in pain, so he's going to have to come off.
And Eisenbraun will replace him. Your backup quarterback. He started a few games while Thompson was hurt, but obviously replacing Needles, not Thompson here. But at this point, this offense really hasn't looked great with anyone
on the field. And now Thompson again has to sling it. That one tipped and almost picked off by the Warriors there, as Freddie Frederick got a hand on it. And then the Warriors went lunging to try it and possibly get an interception there. One interesting thing tonight is Washington's pass defense has looked solid, but part of that is the pressure coming from that defensive line and those linebackers. They are just bringing the heat, and Lincoln has no answer.
And yeah, some great pressure, like you said, especially with the loss of Triber. Really, the pressure just going to keep going on here. Thompson, interesting enough, rolls out to the left a lot when he's in trouble. For a right-handed quarterback, it's something you don't see too much. But, obviously pressure coming from the right makes sense.
As Washington brings another blitz and a bunch of pressure covered Thompson, as he just slings that one away. And that'll bring up 4th down and... Excuse me, actually, that's gonna bring up 3rd. Actually, that is gonna bring up 4th. That is gonna bring up 4th. There's a scoreboard error. The officials had it at 4th down. The scoreboard had it at 2nd down. 4th and 10 is the official call. So now there will be a punt again from Nolan Ransom. Last time put him down at the 7. I don't think that's gonna happen this time, since he's punting from his own 27.
So Ransom standing back at his own 14-yard line here.
And this is a strong punt. And it's free caught there by Freddie Frederick. Interesting to see him free catch it. He had plenty of room to maybe possibly, get a little run back.
He had a punt return touchdown last week, so you'd think maybe he'd be a little more interested, but we'll see.
Ultimately made the smarter play to just catch it, move on, get your offense out there, because it's not like they're in dire need of a special teams play.
I don't need it. I mean, they're up 26-0 here. They're up. It's a it's a 4-possession game.
Oh yeah, it's a 4-possession game right now, and more likely than not, before this half is over, it's going to be more than that. 5, maybe even 6. I mean, look at how long was that last offensive possession for the Patriots? Maybe a minute. As they pass it out and get a first down there. So that's Brennan Torno, another senior getting to play here. I mean, 26-0. You're going to see a lot of people who don't usually get reps coming out, to play here for the Warriors as they hand off to Tupac Capella, and he gets on the sideline, still going. I believe he stepped out of bounds there, so he was off to the races if he did.
Off to races. And it'll be interesting to see how long they keep these players in the second half. No doubt we'll see Max Thompson, the future quarterback of Washington. Maybe not next year. They say Tyus Hansen might take that role next year, but in the years to come, Max Thompson along with Luke Behrens, their running back. But that's still miles away. This game still is
young, really. I mean,
young.
We're not even halfway through the second quarter right now, and we're talking about maybe possibly putting in backups. It'll be interesting to see with someone like, you look at someone like Tupac Capella with the injury history that he's had. Interesting to see if they continue to go with him as Torno makes another grab for the Warriors. Good to see Brennan Torno making some plays out there. Isn't usually a first-team guy, but he's out there getting reps due to the circumstances and performing extremely well. Makes 2 grabs, and he'll keep him out there as Washington continues to move the football here. 7:45 left in the second quarter. They lead 26-0. Jansen in the gun. This time he does hand it off up the middle to Tupac Capella. He is going to go all the way. No doubt about it. Untouched into the end zone. Right up the middle and the end zone. That's going to make it 32-zip here. We'll see, I'm assuming, as the sun begins to go down, we're going to see this crowd start to disperse, especially with the score being 32-0. We're not even halfway through the second quarter yet. It's all Washington. Tupac Capella looking dominant. Well, really, the whole Washington offense, I don't think they've had a negative yardage play.
No, and you look at, and you feel for Patriots, they had this huge start season, big dominating win against the Cobblers, Rapid City, close loss to Brandon, okay, and then the season just fell apart from their Lincoln team that not too many years ago, 4 or 5 years ago, was the state champions.
They were the team to beat. I mean, you look at our freshman year, just about 4 years ago. You're looking at they were one of the top teams.
They were the defending champions, and
they've fallen.
And that's been just different kind of players not working out, some coaching problems,
and yeah, it just led to this. And it's been a disaster of a year for them after an encouraging start. As Johansson's going to have to roll out. Interesting to see him throw there. And it is caught. So it is good there. The Warriors get us Jacob Smith, who catches that 2-point conversion. 34-0. Washington with a huge lead for heading to about the halfway point. Actually, I think
they're going to...
So that's going to be a 5-yard penalty there on the Warriors. They're going to have to repeat it, so it is not 34-0. It's still 32-0. They're going to have to repeat the 2-point conversion attempt, and more likely than not, they'll still do it because they have had kicking issues, and they have missed a few extra points, so they want to get those points back. But I mean, when you're up 32-0, it almost seems like the more sportsmanlike thing here would just be to take the extra point.
Speaking of 32-0, you talk about who we're going to see for Washington, who we're going to see for Lincoln. I mean, I don't think you're going to want I don't think you're going to want Thompson them in the whole rest of the game, or Ransom and Hansen. I think you're going to see a lot of. Definitely would be very surprised, and we haven't seen Triber emerge yet, but if he is able to play, I don't
think you throw him out here. It's 32-0.
Games.
It's interesting to see as Washington takes a time out here. Interesting to see what they do. If you're looking at me, it's 32-0. Why go for 2? I understand that you want to get that score more on a normal level, make up for the points you miss. It's 32-0 in the first half. I don't think it's necessarily something you should be doing at this point.
Maybe not.
This has been a problem in the past. And we've seen the Warriors just absolutely continue to run up the score on people. And like we've said before, that's all dandy right now. But we know high school football, it's a game of hills. They get to the top, and you can go rapidly down. Look at Lincoln.
We talk about Lincoln here. We also talk about this, and this isn't a big proving factor here, but Patriots freshman team just beat Washington 34-6. Now that's not a guarantee, but still, pretty talented freshman team there for Lincoln.
As Washington went for 2, didn't get it. 32-0. Good for the Patriots there to get a stop. Save face a little bit there. 7:32 left. 32-0. We'll be back for the kickoff here at Howard Wood Field.
Perrins prepares to kick off. And deep for the Patriots, Vandertop and Case.
And we are back here at Howard Wood Field for kickoff as Washington kicks off to the Patriots. As we said, they have a lead, a 32-0 lead here. Lincoln just playing for pride at this point. And it'll be interesting to see, like we've said, it's not even halfway through the second quarter. It'll be interesting to see when they start pulling those first stringers because regardless... All right, so now we're just reading word Tupac Capay has 127 yards rushing today, I believe, on the day. So that is something to keep an eye on as he continues. And if it goes the way it goes, he could have possibly 300-yard day.
300-yard day, yes. And one thing you did mention earlier about this, teams might be getting a little upset about this stuff, is game, I called earlier this year, Watertown-Lincoln, which was a close loss for Lincoln. Both Noah Brown and Grant Triber, the latter who obviously is not probably going to play the rest of the game, got unsportsmanlike conduct penalty. This is a team with a spine here. They get upset at some calls here, and I don't think they're going to take Washington if they attempt to do stuff like go for 2 in this situation. Very timely.
Yeah, I mean, and it's not something you want to see. These are kids. It's never good to see running up the score of any kind. Be interesting storyline to watch here because that has been a problem in the past with Washington. When you look at last year against Brookings, I believe they were up 50-something to nothing and running with random offensive linemen to try and score. Interesting storyline to watch, 32-0. And now brings up 2nd and 7 here for the Patriots as Tommy Thompson once again in the shotgun.
And yeah, I mean, a matter of time, we probably see Terrell Eisenbraun eventually take over here at quarterback for Thompson.
And you assume, and like for Lincoln, like you say, sure, they're getting blown out, and that's going to be an interception there by the Warriors. That's Nate Freeze on the interception as it basically fell right into his hand, and that was a gift there for the Warriors. They just threw right up. He was either going to be picked off by Freddie Frederick or Nate Freeze. They both got a hand on it just right to him. And the bad night gets worse for the Patriots. Interesting.
Small update. Grant Triber will not return to the game. Looks to be leaning on crutches against the locker room wearing jeans. So possible injury to take note of for the coming playoff games as Lincoln will most likely be on the road at this point.
Yeah, and that's what I was just going to say. Interesting point. Interesting to see how the Patriots go about this. I mean, regardless of what happens tonight, they have a playoff game. to prepare for. They don't want unnecessary injuries being down 32 as they rush a passer well here, but it is a screen play. Here goes to Pakapea. Oh, makes a good move. Still on his feet somehow, and he's going to make it to the end zone. Touchdown, Warriors. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. And that's a mix of good downfield blocking and great, just something that unteachable athleticism.
And Kapea, obviously, great story about him. Immigrant from Liberia, I believe, and he's been labeled as a troublemaker earlier in his youth, middle school and stuff. Came in Washington, lost all that stuff, and
he's all in on football, and boy, has it paid off huge for him. Got to feel happy for the kid as he's breaking records this whole year. Unbelievable story, unbelievable player. As Washington gonna take the extra point here.
Good move. That would have been very unsportsmanlike of Chad Stadium to have gone for 2. And then let's go Lincoln chance by the cheerleaders, trying to get the student section hyped up as best they can.
And that one hits the upright, missed extra point. So
I'm telling you,
possibly all those 2-point conversions, maybe karma, maybe a little bit.
Yeah, you look at, I think more and more, and yes, the Dakota Dome is in it or same, but you look at this semifinal game, which Washington always has close wins in, or close games, coming down to something like a missed extra point field goal could add. I mean, Washington should be up. How many points have they missed out? Is this 2 extra points they've missed here? Or 3, actually? I believe it's 3 because 1 was a high snap.
Yeah, if you count the high snap, yes.
3 extra points haven't gone correctly. That stuff can cost you in big games. They have to get this figured out.
Oh yeah, that can
before
it'll be interesting to see really how they go about this. That'll be interesting. If it's a big moment where you're sitting at maybe the 10-yard line, you have a field goal to tie. What do you do? Because the kicking game hasn't looked solid at all, and it's really nothing against Luke Behrens and Freddie Frederick. The problem is that the Washington has been solid at kicker for the last 4 years.
They're going back and now having this, and it's just it's something that they'll have to fix before very important games coming up here.
And then Behrens to kick off here for the Warriors. Another low kick. I believe those are intentional due to the wind. And this one's going to be returned well. Gets to the 40 and all the way to the 50 before he's dragged down. Good return there. A little bit of a crowd energizer of a return there.
Crowd energizer, but I guarantee you both these sections of the stadium empty about at least a quarter of the way after halftime. It's a cold, it's 60-degree night. It's a school night too. This is a lot of students aren't too happy with that. They like last year, I believe they got the day off afterwards. A lot of them wanted to go home, do some stuff, get some homework done for tomorrow.
Of course, students always busy here as Lincoln actually did a solid offensive play there as Thompson passed it out. And that's going to be a gain of, I believe that was Vandentop on the grab. That's going to be a gain of 6 there for them. So, second and 4, that was one of their better plays of the game.
Good play for Lincoln there. And obviously praying for Brian, but it's just interesting how Washington, it's their best they've looked, and Lincoln is a 6th seed team. Washington has played the 8th and 7th seed teams and hasn't looked as dominant as they do right now against the 6th seed.
And maybe part of that is, there's a lot of factors that go into that. Maybe Washington's just more fired up for this game than Roosevelt. It's a rivalry game. It's one of those things where the Warriors have probably been locked in. They've had this locked on their schedule, having not faced a really tougher opponent or rivalry.
And on third short, they'll have paid Newsmanchik at defensive tackle here. Obviously,
Still a good amount of defensive starters on the field for Washington.
And would you say Lincoln goes for it at this point? If it's 4th and short, if they're across the 50, I think you do.
I would assume they would, knowing that Washington more likely not just going to slow down. So now brings up, here it comes, 4th and short. Just like we were talking about, it's going to be marked for about a 4th and 2. So interesting to see what they do. Part of me thinks maybe they'll try and pin them deep. But part of me thinks 4th and 2, you've had nothing go. You've had nothing go your way.
They pinned him at the 4 and look at Washington.
Yeah, there's really it's kind of a, no matter what, you got to do something here, and that's what we're looking at.
And I think, honestly, a quick pass to one of the receivers here on the left side, quick.
Oh, yeah, well, with Washington's corners sitting back about 20 yards.
Trying to send the full house here.
They might bring the heat, and that might be enough as it's over the middle and caught there. That's a first down for the Patriots. That's Hanson on the catch. So first down, Patriots there on the 4th and short. Good play call. Always good to get those 4th and short. A little morale booster. Of course, just playing for pride, but a good morale booster. Down 38-0 to get a fourth down conversion.
Good job by Lincoln. Trying to score, hopefully the game doesn't end this big of a blowout here. But, we'll just see. I would be very surprised if I saw, especially if we don't score, if we see a lot of these starters in the second half. I'd be surprised, too, to see that. Now comes up 2nd and 8. They're a 2-yard run for the Patriots. I don't mean to say, when I keep saying the semifinal, like it's like the next week is a cakewalk. This is a very wide open year for South Dakota.
Oh, very wide open. Outside of O'Gorman, everyone has looked weak at some point.
No one's guaranteed an advance. No one's guaranteed to advance next round as in previous years. Really good teams. I mean, Lincoln's beaten Central, who beat Roosevelt, who beat Washington. It's all ties together.
It all ties together. It'll be very interesting playoffs here. One of the more even ones we've had in terms of talent and how teams are stacking up as Needles makes a grab, and the Patriots actually into the red zone for the first time tonight. Interesting story to watch here for them as Needles makes a good play to bring up a first down for the Patriots.
And unfortunately for halftime, we won't be able to see the great Lincoln Marching Band here. I believe they're at a competition away from here, so just stay with us during halftime. We'll do something for 20 minutes.
Probably have some highlights on as soon. And now Thompson again, quick throw. These quick throws have been working really well for the Patriots here as they get just a gain of 2 yards, but better than what they were getting before.
The difference between the passing games tonight, Washington's deep pass, Lincoln's the short catch and run plays tonight. They've been working out. I mean, you got some receivers like Wyatt Van Top and every.
Yeah, and it looks like if you look at the sky here, there's a cloud starting to roll in here. It's windy. I hear actually that there's some sprinkles outside, possibly starting. Interesting storyline to watch here. As the game, there's not much going on, 38-0 here. But Patriots making a move towards the end zone, and they get another completed pass, going to bring up 3rd and 5 for them.
There's definitely some rain coming in here from the northwest. Not sure if it'll hit during this game, but low rain didn't hurt anyone.
Low rain, yeah, it never hurts anyone. So, it's still a 60-degree night. Ultimately a good night for football as the quarter starts to move a little quicker now that the Patriots actually getting some offense going. 1:45 left here in the half. They trail 38-0. 3rd and 5 from the 10-yard line. We'll see if they can get their first points of this game. Pressure coming again for Thompson, and he's able to get just a yard away from getting back to the line of scrimmage. Got to give him credit for that effort. He was looking at possibly a 4th and 15 situation. Turns into a 4th and 6. A lot more manageable, and more likely than not, I think you're going to see him go for it.
Nolan Ransom, senior receiver, gets the play from the coach here, and they'll come out. 1:09 left, and, Washington, most of the time, they get the ball with under a minute and a half. They don't do anything. They did something last week against Rapid. Hopefully won't do, depending on the time here, be very unsportsmanlike to try and.
To try and do something like that. Under a minute left here, 50 seconds left. Thompson in the gun. Pressure coming again. Thompson's going to have to scramble. We'll see if he can find a receiver. He does. 1st and goal from the 1 here. Looks like the Patriots are going to have a chance here to get points. A really good chance. 41 seconds left in the half to get a little momentum going into the half.
And there is something for our halftime routine. I believe it's a dance team down there for Lincoln.
I would assume yes. The dance team from Lincoln will be replacing the usual
famed Lincoln Marching.
The famed Lincoln Marching Band, yes. One of the biggest marching bands in the state.
Performed at the Rose Bowl.
Macy's Day Parade, I believe, actually, as well. So, missing out on some action there as Tommy Thompson gets shut down. And it'll be interesting to see 15 seconds left. They let that clock run down almost 25 or so
seconds.
seconds.
They do have 3 timeouts, so.
I mean, they do have 3 timeouts, but interesting now as they get. There's no guarantee for 6 here because Washington does have a good D line, and they've been solid all night against the run.
No, they have. It's just really. At this point, hopefully, if you're Lincoln, you can make this 38-7 game still really out of reach. You'd have to take a Warrior implosion, which we have not seen. Washington, they lost games this season, but they've never choked games.
Yeah. 38-7. I mean, even if they get points on the board, I mean, it's never over until it's over, but this is one where it does look like it's over.
It is. Currently 7 o'clock here, so O'Gorman Brandon Valley is kicking off here. We'll get you some updates, probably start coming in towards the end of the third quarter here, early in that game, see how those games doing. More than likely, O'Gorman will win that and claim the number 1 seed, but no, nothing's safe. No one's safe here. It's a possible wild night here in South Dakota high school football. Some seed upsets and shakes here, and
oh yeah, it'll be extremely interesting here tonight to see where everything shapes up. It'll be interesting. But the biggest storyline to watch is kind of Washington Roosevelt, who will get the number 2 seed. I mean, OG's wrapped up the 1
I believe it's Roosevelt has a good odds because yes, is it win against Washington from the guarantee? No, but a lot of AA games would have to go a certain way. This isn't a simple. It's Tommy Thompson scores there.
Tommy Thompson into the end zone for the Patriots. They get on the board late in the first half. They have finally done it. Made this game a little more entertaining for now. 12 seconds remaining in the half. 38-7. Well, 38-6 is the score as they'll take that extra point. Here that'll be Vanden.
Really, biggest storyline for Washington Roosevelt. Biggest storyline for Lincoln at this point is Grant Triber, who's obviously on crutches, not coming back this game. We'll see if he comes back for the next game. And, how will this affect him and his plans to try and play in some of those big high school games? And
as Vanden Top's extra point, I believe, is good. 38-7. Washington with the lead here on this Thursday night game, the final game of the regular season. 12 seconds remaining. Interesting to see. More likely than not, the Warriors will just kneel it out. But it'll, of course, be interesting to see what happens here.
Yes, it's a really, it should be in, rival games. It's Washington, Lincoln. These two, it's not a. I wouldn't say it's a hatred, but something where a lot of pride is shown between. The rivalries in Sioux Falls are pretty much all the public schools against O'Gorman.
Yeah.
And Washington, Lincoln's just a really big, 2 oldest schools. To Washington, very big athletic school.
Yep.
Very proud of its athletic achievements. Lincoln, good at athletics at its moments. Very proud arts and band school here, and so they face off. It's always entertaining to see this is it's a game they want to win the most. They want to win the most. The championship, yes, but outside of that, the game they want to win the most is
a lot of times
is against the other team.
Is against the other Sioux Falls schools, especially here with Lincoln, as they do a little onside kick here, bounce a long ways, and the Warriors get the return to the 39. 5 seconds left. More likely than not, you'll just see them take a knee here.
Well, yeah, and they're not. Joe Hansen is a very good quarterback. He's got pretty much the whole NSIC looking at him here, but his arm isn't strong enough to get here. You're going against the wind, and you're up 38-7. So no reason for you to throw a Hail Mary.
Absolutely no
Washington
reason.
gets the ball to start the second half, too.
There's zero reason for that, and it looks like they will take a knee here to end the first half. 38-7. There's going to be a halftime break coming up. 38-7. Washington has the lead here. End of the first half. We'll be back to kick off the second half in about 15 minutes. We will be back. Once again, 38-7. Washington with the lead on Lincoln.
For your halftime entertainment, we have the Patriots doing a hip-hop routine.
Welcome back to Howard Wood Field here, where Washington will be getting the ball to start the second half. 38-7. Interesting events at halftime, August.
Interesting events at halftime, indeed. The Lincoln Patriot mascot attempted to run all the way
around the track. Attempted and failed. He was sadly taken off the field. But pretty entertaining. Once the dance team got done, we were in need of some entertainment. That's exactly what we got.
He was rounded first half with ease. A Warrior coach was not too happy with him, kind of shoved him away, and he got apprehended near the left goal post here. So he is probably not going to return this game.
Probably not going to return this game as that kick goes out of bounds, giving the Warriors the ball at the 35. So Washington going to get the ball here at the 35-yard line, 1st and 10 for them. As this game continues, and it's hard to believe it's just the start of the second quarter. You look at the scoreboard, 38-7.
Big.
It's been all Warriors.
Oh,
here.
yeah.
Hand off Capella, and he bounces the outside. Here we go again. Tupac Capella just barely grabbed. Taken down after a gain of 5.
Capella came into the night needing 258 yards to break the all-time rushing record. He's got 127 means before that play. Now he's got more, so he's only 125 more, so he's only 126 yards away from tying the all-time record, 127 for breaking the all-time record. We'll see how that happens. Might not happen tonight with the score, but definitely next week's playoff game.
Next week's playoff game, we will be looking at that. Handoff to Johansson as handoff from Johansson to Capella, still on his feet and gets to the 46. This guy is just untouchable right now. So that's Capella on the ground there, 38-7, as they continue to move the ball. Capella, of course, continuing his strong night, as we were just saying, getting closer and closer to that all-purpose yard record there for Capella.
It would be a very special moment, I assume, if he hits in this game. They, might not stop, but he'll go throw the ball to someone important to him.
And now this one out to Kellen Foltz there on screenplay, and that, I believe, is the first negative play that the Warriors have had all game.
Kellen Foltz, another senior receiver you haven't seen too much of. That saying is, you look at, a lot of people say, well, you're either winning big or losing big, bring in the younger players, right? But Washington and Lincoln have a lot of seniors, especially Washington have a lot of seniors who don't play that much. And considering this is their last year of being able to play, they're going to bring them in before, say, a junior wide receiver like Cole Holstein or the rest of them.
Oh yeah, I mean they've got some seniors that just don't get that many reps, and now they are going to get reps. Looking at the score here, play action pass there to Pearson, incomplete. This might be the first stop by the Patriots, and it'd be a score
in the right direction,
and then follow up with a stop here. Regardless, the score and time right now, it's an improvement.
And we'll see how. And like we said earlier, of course, big storyline for this game. Grant Triber standing around in jeans on crutches on the sideline. He's out for this game. Hopefully, he is able to. He'd be much needed for Lincoln in their playoff game next week, but we'll see how that goes.
And Johansson gets it out to a wide out, and he's going to get a first down. So 3rd and 16, Patriots give a first down. That is Jacob Smith on the catch and run there to get that first down for them.
Lincoln making substitution. You have a linebacker, I believe, quickly running off the field. Always funny to see that little miscommunication. Player quickly getting off field to avoid the 12-man call.
And now, once again, Johansson in the gun. Tupac Capella back with him. And now here is the snap, and this time the handoff to Capella looked like it was going to get nowhere as he's dragging people for a 5-yard gain.
And very, Capella getting closer and closer. Possibly could break this tonight.
Definitely, but of course you look at the score and knowing that the fact that he is injury prone doesn't exactly help him. So 38-7. Washington still with the football, and mostly starters still in this game here for Washington, as it'll be Johansson Capella once again, this time in the pistol, as Johansson hands off to Capella. Makes a move to the inside, still on his feet, somehow still moving to the 11. Actually, it's going to be marked down at the 12-yard line. Another good run from Capella.
And it's safe to say Capella is definitely under 100 yards now needed for that record. But, as you know, you want this big storyline to be the game. But the thing is, when games start getting, kind of out of hand like this, you have to go to, and Capella is a very big storyline too in all of this too, don't get us wrong. Yeah, you start going to more of these topics because these games start becoming out of reach. And
yeah, and I mean, records. Sure, can some things still happen? Yes, Washington put up 38 in the first half. There's nothing to say Lincoln can't. The problem is the game is not trending in that way whatsoever here. Washington handoff to Capella, gets another solid gain on the ground. That one's going to go for 4 yards there as it gets around the 8-minute mark here in the third quarter. And now 8 minutes remaining here in this third quarter. Washington with the football, 2nd and 6 here for them. It'll be Johansson in the gun again. Back there with him is Capella. Capella gets a handoff, makes a little move, still on his feet, got shut down, I believe. No gain on the play, can bring up 3rd down and 6 from the 8-yard line.
Third down, I need to look at. And Leon has a chance to stop a 3rd and 16. They just couldn't. And Smith caught that pass at least 5 yards behind the first down marker. They just can't stop it. It's just where it's just keep.
And that's how it's been all night. It's been all Warriors. Nothing really, no real response here from Lincoln, and that's just part of the game when you're playing against a team like Washington. As Capella on the screenplay is going to get another touchdown. He has just been all over the place tonight. So that's going to push it to 44-7 here. I believe they're going to take the extra point this time to try and push this one to 45-7. It's been all Warriors night. They continue there. Nice 5-minute drive to start off here. It's one thing you have to say is a little more effort shown by Patriot defense there. We had been looking at 2-minute, 3-minute maximum drives.
And now let's see how Freddie Fredericks does here with the extra point. Really kind of struggling with the Warriors here tonight on these extra points.
They've had a snap issue on 2 of them.
And 2 misses.
And then 2 misses. And that one is good. So Freddie Frederick hits that one, 45-7. Washington with the lead here early in the third quarter. We'll be back when Washington kicks off to the Patriots. We are back here at Howard Wood Field here for kickoff as Washington marched down the field in exactly 5 minutes to take a 45-7 lead and add to that lead. And it was Tupac Capella on the screenplay that time getting in the end zone for the Warriors.
Yes, and a great job at Capella there, and he edges closer and closer to that all-time record here. We're not exactly sure where he is, but we know he's
getting closer and closer, and that's something we could see happen tonight if they continue to play him. Like we've stated before, he has had a past injury issue, so it's not likely that they're going to see them continue to risk it here as the bouncer. Oh, and the Patriots just have to dive on it there, and Patriots catch a break there as they're able to dive on the loose ball, and they will have 1st and 10 at the 27. And now 6:57 left here in the third, 45-7, 1st and 10. Tommy Thompson and the Patriots here run it up the gut. That is number 34, Sam Southwick on the carry. Good carry, 7 yards.
And yeah, great carry by Southwick there. And I'm sure Lincoln can score a few times, but just the way the defense in the Warriors is, it's pretty much you need a miracle here to try and this Lincoln, get some good practice and get some good reps in here before the big game next week against. Right now, I believe they'd be at Roosevelt, so it'll be right back here
at Howard Wood. And quick screen pass here to Needles. Still working his way. Gets out of bounds at the 43-yard line. 1st and 10 Patriots. One of the rare first downs that we've seen from them tonight.
Yeah, rare. And Washington still with their defensive stars out there. Peyton Newsma. I see Adam Derlin, Trey Ponto. And
the whole secondary is still
out there.
Still out there. Interesting to see this from Coach Statham, knowing that playoffs right around the corner. Interesting to see him gamble. You're up 45-7.
The secondary has been great. It hasn't been great. Maybe he's just trying to get those extra reps in.
That is possible here, as pressure coming forces Thompson to roll out. Gets Needles at the 49-yard line. Well, actually, marked out at the 47-yard line. So I'll bring up 2nd down and 6 for the Patriots here. Trailing 45-7. They're just playing for pride right now. Thompson in the pistol again. Handoff up the middle, shut down. Just a gain of about, they're going to mark them for about 1.5. So the run there getting okay yards. Bring up a 3rd and 5.
That's 3rd and 5 here. And, you want to just keep keep your offense on as long. Obviously, Washington hopefully won't go full 100% on with their offense in terms of how hard they play. But still, you want to keep your offense on here and just, try and limit Washington's offense opportunities and just score a few more points or make it respectful. Because right now it's just not great.
It's not been great at all for them tonight. As pressure coming, Trey Ponto levels the running back Sam Southwick on his way to a sack. That was just, he went untouched, and poor Sam Southwick, he was in no position to really stop that, and now they're going to have to punt on 4th and 14. So Washington going to get the ball right back.
So Nolan Ransom will punt. I believe the win, he's with the win. Yeah, he's with the win on this punt.
And with the win, he's been extremely successful there on the punts. So interesting to see how this punt goes for him. Once again, 45-7. It's a 38-point game. This quarter is moving along pretty well, actually, as Freeze is going to decide to return this one. Just gets a few yards, gets a 31. That's going to be 1st and 10
Jed
for
Anderson.
them. Oh, that was Jed Anderson?
I think Freeze was on the... Yeah, but Jed Anderson, decent return for...
Pretty good, about 5 yards.
Yep.
That'll get 1st and 10 at the 31 for the Warriors. As I believe coming out is still Johansson, I believe.
No, it's Max Thompson, I think.
That's about Max Thompson. Oh, yes, Max Thompson is in the
Behrens.
handoff to Luke Barron. So the second string is officially in here for the Warriors. There's a flag thrown in the backfield there on the handoff that went for 10 yards. Actually, excuse me, 9 yards, but that's going to go back. I believe that play is coming back.
This adds another big storyline. Next week's playoff game, Capella will most likely, under 100 yards, will most likely break the record next week.
Oh, he will be. He has a definite chance of that happening here, as his night is probably done tonight, and with good reason. As I said, he has had injuries in the past, and an injury at this type of season to him at this time of the season
It would all but knock the Warriors out of contention.
It would all but, it would be absolutely devastating for them as Barons tries to run to the outside and gets nothing, loses a yard there on that attempt. So 45-7 it remains here as the clock moving a lot faster in these quarters than the first two.
Definitely under. I mean, this should be a quick end here. I mean, I know you got over a quarter here, but Max Thompson's in. They're just gonna. I don't think a lot of passing.
I believe both teams are going to be with their second string as Luke Barons breaks through a hole, gets a solid gain of 7. So 45-7. Of course, it remains, and Barons on the 7-yard run, bring up 3rd and 13. Interesting to see what the Warriors do with the score like this. Interesting to see if, maybe they keep it on the ground even though it is 3rd and 13. Or if they, with Max Thompson, maybe give him a chance to.
I wouldn't say that's necessarily unsportsmanlike. You want to give Thompson a few.
Well, not necessarily unsportsmanlike. I'm just saying 3rd and 13 with the score being the way it is. Interesting as Max Thompson does take a shot there, and it is caught, I believe, there. Good throw and catch for the Warriors. That's Tyus Hansen on the grab for the Warriors. So 45-7, successful 3rd and 13 play there. And the offense keeps moving. The clock keeps moving. As we are down to just about 2.5 minutes here in the third quarter. Washington with the 45-7 lead. Thompson in the gun. Hands off to Barons. Barons goes the outside. Gets a gain of about 1 yard there to bring up 2nd and 9 for the Warriors. And Barons, with Barons and Thompson being on the field, that means basically that is probably the end of the night for Capella, Johansson, a lot of the offensive starters.
Do have an early score here. And the first quarter, Brandon Valley leading O'Gorman 7-0. So
interesting storyline to keep up with, considering that O'Gorman is undefeated coming into this one. I believe they have the number 1 seed even if they do lose, though. Correct?
Yeah, they should. I mean, they should have the points against Roosevelt and them. But this could possibly, and I'm not sure. I mean, Washington will not fall because they're going to most likely win this game, so they're going to stay in the 3 seed. Interesting to see how if this has implications on the Roosevelt team at all, with how. And obviously they play Watertown. We'll get some.
Which is no sure win.
Watertown, a surprising team.
A surprisingly good team. They were undefeated for a lot of year until they lost their homecoming to, I believe, Brookings,
and then they beat this Lincoln team right here. And it's Watertown. They were just lost to Brandon Valley. They're one seed away from hosting a playoff game. Most likely won't happen now, but.
And now that run. And there must have been a fumble on that last drive to give the ball back to the Patriots. So, Patriots ball, and that run got shut down for nothing.
And I just thought of this right now, and correct me if I'm wrong. Washington and Brandon Valley tied 6-2 record, same seed points. Let's say they both win and go to 7-2. Washington has a head-to-head. Does it affect it at all that Brandon, and that's a big if, beat O'Gorman, could they get more seed points than Washington beating Lincoln, or will the head-to-head kind of...
I think the head-to-head will still stand. I'm not positive on how the seed points work, but that's just what I would logically think it would be. Here, as the Patriots take a shot deep, and they had needles open, and that's what you got to do against this Warrior team is take shots at that secondary, because this year it has struggled a lot.
And this is all senior secondary, some really great plays, or I believe mostly senior, by, Freeze and Doherty and Ledoux, but just sometimes Freeze and Doherty will just give up. I mean, Nate Freeze moved to corner last year at a very poor championship game against Rough Riders.
It did almost cost the Warriors the dome. Of course, we all know the story of how that happened. The Warriors stopped the 2-point conversion for Roosevelt to get their 3rd straight dome win here as Tommy Thompson runs it on 3rd and 10 as the pressure was coming, brings up 4th and 2 interesting to see what they'll do here. They've had no momentum all game. It would surprise me to see them go for it in this type of situation.
No, 4th and 2 here. Yeah, just go for it at this point. You don't have a lot to lose. They still have the starting offense on, I believe, Thompson. Yeah, so they're keeping things in, which is keeping those guys in, trying to get some. I mean, I figure eventually, and maybe Thompson, sophomore quarterback, maybe keep him and give us some more reps here, but we're going to time out here.
And so Lincoln's going to take a timeout to think about what they're going to do here. We're going to be back at the end of that timeout. 45-7, 21 seconds left in the third. Washington with the lead over Lincoln. We are back here at Lincoln High, at Howard Field here, where Lincoln has opted to go for it here on 4th and 2. The pass is just swatted down there by the Warrior defensive line.
Was that Trey Pondo, I believe?
On the swat, I'm not exactly sure who got there. A couple people had their hands up. I believe it was a designed screen play to the running back, but we're not going to get a replay on that. So 1st and 10, Warriors at the 46. Interesting to see what they'll do here. Most likely they'll bring in the second string again as Thompson and Behrens will come out again, and mostly second string wideouts in the game as well. And the handoff to Behrens outside, stiff arms, and gets. He was taken down on the outside. That's going to be a loss for them, a big loss there. Bring up 2nd and 16.
And we got some in the third quarter here, and we got some players warming up on Lincoln sideline throwing, I believe. They are number 12, Ty Schaefer, wide receiver, and I believe that's number 9, Terrell Eisenbraun. Most likely he will come in at quarterback here. He was a backup earlier this year. So it should be, 45-7 here, end of the third quarter. Just real kind of rout here by Washington. And
although this second half, Lincoln has shown signs of life, but part of that is with Washington switching second string. That's what you kind of expect to see here as the game kind of slows down. On this, honestly, it's a pretty nice night for football. Not too cold.
High 50s, I believe, right now.
The only problem tonight has been the wind. That's about it.
And the wind hasn't affected. Well, it's affected possibly. No, the extra points were going in the wind. Yeah, it's just wind's just affected a few punts here early, which did give Washington's great field position. But Washington has also scored being at their own 4-yard line. And we'll see them come back out here, start 4th.
Yep, 2nd and 16, I believe, and the run from Behrens gets back 6. No, gets back 6 yards, brings them back for a 3rd and 10 from the 46, as there's an injured player here
Another
for the
Patriots.
Patriots.
You hate to see this just because needless injury. The game's pretty much decided here, and I can't see who it is at this point. The trainers are positioned where we can't see the number. And you just hate to see this because both these teams have very important games next week here
especially with the playoffs coming up. Injuries of any kind are hard to see, especially at this point in the year. It becomes harder and harder to deal with them.
Update on the Tupac rushing yard. He hit 173 tonight. So 173 yards for Tupac Capella, which puts him at 85 to tie and 86 to break next week. Very achievable marks for Capella next week. It's most likely a Rapid City Central team, which he dominated last week. For 200 yards and set the touchdown record.
That's where he got the touchdown record. And it'll be interesting to see how that goes next week. And yeah, I believe Washington will be hosting, as well as, well, Lincoln won't be hosting, but they'll be right back here at Howard Wood Field.
Yes, Lincoln have, about a week here, and they'll go play most likely Roosevelt, as long as seed points don't change here. And, of course, hate to see this injury right here for Lincoln. It's unfortunate. Hopefully, minor injury. Same with, hopefully, with Grant, minor injury.
Yeah, it just has not been a good night overall for the Patriots. You look at the injury to Grant Schreiber early on in the game, as they were already trailing 14-0. And now this injury right here has just not been, it's just not been their night. They haven't really done anything well on the football field tonight.
No, they really haven't at this point. Like we've said this whole night, the game's pretty much decided. It's 45-7. You just want to avoid injuries like this. You want to make sure everyone's healthy and go into next week. Lincoln, very big uphill battle trying to advance in these playoffs, as they'll most likely face a top 2 seed. Washington, yes, they'll host. Yes, they'll be a more, a bottom 3 seed. But this is a very, not even, but even the poor teams here are doing better than
they are doing better than we've seen in years past. Like, depending on who Washington plays, there's a chance that they hang around.
Yeah, they could. And Washington obviously looking for the 4-peat. They wanted to keep that 35-game win streak alive. Couldn't happen. 2 straight losses this year. They got over that. They said, talking to some players before the season, they said, we will probably lose a streak. Stadium's telling us that we know we'll probably lose a streak. It's not as big of a deal. They want the 4-peat. That's
their goal. That is their ultimate goal. That is their goal. We'll see if they can really keep that going. And right now they're gaining a lot of momentum. 45-7. And at one point it was 38-0, and then they kind of let up a little bit. They kind of slowed down, which is what you
even
expect to see.
7-7 after that, and coming into the
exactly.
But that's what it is. You have to prepare for next week, and it's next week Thursday, so exactly a week from tonight there'll be big events going on here. And as this finally, I believe that's Zach. No, that's not Zach Hansen. That is number 3. No.
That's number 3. Marcus Berjord, I believe, coming off the field with that injury.
Walking under his own power, which is good.
Which is good. Possibly he had the wind knocked out of him. We're not really sure. We did not see the injury as it happened here. 3rd and 10 for the Warriors. Thompson's going to throw over the middle. Had a man, and it's caught. And that was a great catch there. That was a great catch there by number 13, Carson Strom. He was put one arm out, and he was able to corral that one. Thompson put a little behind him. Good recovery there by Strom. Gets a first down for the Warriors as they keep things rolling here, up 45-7 against Lincoln.
And yes, we'll see.
And the handoff to Behrens up the middle. Shut down there. It's going to be a loss of 3 for the Warriors. So that's going to bring up 2nd and 13 here early on in the 4th.
And, like I said earlier, this is preview of next year's Warriors. I'm not sure if Thompson will start next year, but he will definitely start in the years to come. Most likely his junior and senior year. So this future Warrior quarterback operating right now along with Luke Behrens, most likely one of the starting running backs next year. Big shoes to fill, Tupac Capella, and don't expect him to be Capella's a once-in-a-lifetime talent right here. It's going to be pretty hard to get close to his
level.
That's
how he's been his whole career there, as Thompson on the screenplay gets it completed, and that's going to be another first down. And I believe that's Strom again for the Warriors. 45-7. The route continues here for the Warriors. 10:33 left in the 4th quarter. And right now, once again, Washington's just going to line up and keep doing what they're doing. Right now, it's good that we've seen both teams kind of transition to the second strings, and that's what happens, especially as you get later on in the season. You got to try and save all you can for those playoff games, especially with, there's no real battle for seeding. Washington, I'm sure, would love to get the 2 seed.
But that's out of their control. They've done their job. They've won this game. They need a lot of stuff. That probably won't happen. Lincoln would have liked to move up. That's probably not going to happen. But, yeah, seeding could be interesting. Seeding will be interesting to see who these 2 teams play. We know Washington will host. We know Lincoln will be on the road. But are you on the road at Hardwood Field? Not exactly.
Not exactly. So, yeah, interesting. At least when you look at Lincoln possibly facing off against a team like Roosevelt, at least you have the familiarity, And you're playing at Howardwood Field. You understand what the team's about. It'll be an interesting story to watch. Their loss of 1 again. Barron's tackled behind the line of scrimmage. And now it's going to bring up 3rd and 15 here for the Warriors.
And and Roosevelt, a very interesting team. Started out the season hot, beat these Warriors 29-0. And what was hyped to be one of the best matchups of the year against them and O'Gorman. O'Gorman smoked them 36-0. Then they barely beat Yankton, lost to Rapid City Central, barely beat Pierre last week. Roosevelt is really a team to prove.
But a lot of that has been, they have been sitting out key players there as Thompson is brought down from behind. I believe he got back to the line of scrimmage. Just going to bring up 4th and 15 there from the 18. Interesting to see. I'm not sure if they really have a confidence in a kicker, but you also cannot punt from the 18-yard line.
18-yard line, that'd be a 25-yard field goal. I say send out the kicking because this is perfect game. You see how the kicking game goes. If you have to come down to it, call to it. In important games, you have to be able to see if you can attempt.
This is going to be for Freddie Frederick. This is a longer field goal for him.
35-yard kick.
This is a 35-yard kick here for Freddie Frederick.
About down the middle.
Interesting to see. He's pretty much in the center of the field here. And the kick he had the leg. I'm not sure if it was in. No, it was wide left. We do not have a very good view on that, but wide left is confirmed to be. It had plenty of leg, and part of that, of course, is the wind behind the back. I'm not sure if that's an every game type of thing for him, or if that's a thing with the wind they could take that shot. But either way, they didn't really have a choice. You don't want to go for it on 4th and 15.
I think that's what it's going to come down to come playoff games, especially a lot of teams don't have great kickers, but for Washington, these field goal attempts will come down to at Howardwood Field how's the wind going. Mm-hmm. They won't kick into the wind. They might not kick even if there's no wind. You want that wind behind you for.
Yeah, especially Washington field goal range isn't exactly long, and that's not really at the fault of the 2 kickers. It's more just the fact that they've been sitting with the same kicker for the last 4 years, Brock Walker, and he did excellent for them.
Did very good for him, yes, and like I said, he did so good. He went to the University of Minnesota Big Ten school, and that's obviously a pretty good. Like I said, these Warriors, they say the Warriors that were lost last year, seniors, all they did was the key one of them. 3 key seniors last year went to Big Ten schools. You're not losing, the talent that goes around locally. You're losing talent that's recruited by big time schools and big time coaches.
Yeah, as the handoff there, and another good run there for the Patriots.
And we're just under halfway through this quarter, and it's not too big of a surprise. The game's pretty much been decided. Every fan and player out here realizes that. And good showing by Washington. Great showing with this what we believe will be 6 games in a row. Pretty dominating.
This had to have been probably their best performance of the season. And you say, I don't know if this is the best team that they beat, but just the way they played from start to finish, they've actually looked dominant on both sides of the football for the first time, I think, this season. It's either been good defense, okay offense, or vice versa. Good to see them finally putting 2 and 2 together here. to get things rolling for them. I mean, 38-0 at half. I imagine if they went with the Stars in the second half, it would have been 50-something nothing, just the way the game was going.
Yeah, it's just, and I believe that's still Thompson in a quarterback for Lincoln. We keep some of their ones out here.
And as they get a
Nolan
first
Ransom,
down there,
another one.
Nolan Ransom moves the chains for the Patriots, gets them to the 42-yard line as this game slowly winds down.
And, if you're Lincoln, takeaways from this game, you got a young quarterback. Hopefully he'll mature over the next 2 years. None of the other starters are really young here. You're going to get a new receiving core, new backs come next year. But Washington's done that pretty much every year.
And Thompson keeps it. I'm not sure that play looked possibly a broken play. It did not look very natural there, but Thompson gains 2 yards off of it. Bring up 2nd and 8 here for the Patriots.
Yeah, you look, 2nd and 8. Oh, if you're Lincoln, hopefully you can just try and score again. I don't think Washington will score again, just the way the seconds have been working in, sportsmanship. So, hopefully 45-14 looks a little better than 45-7.
And now the run again up the middle. They're starting to move the ball. Of course, they have a good amount of ones still in, and that contributed when you're going up against Washington defense, mostly with their twos out.
So it's interesting over the past, and this is Washington, Lincoln. It's been dominant, but Lincoln did beat them 4 years ago. So since Washington's four-peat, they've had 3 losses. All have been Sioux Falls schools. 2 have been this year. Lincoln, Lincoln is a tough team. Don't look at the score and think Lincoln's just, they're still a team. There's a lot of heart, a lot of rivalry here, and just all going Washington's way tonight, however.
And now Tommy Thompson throws it out. I believe that's going to be another first down. So the offense keeps on moving the ball for the Patriots, starting to get some stuff going here for them. And it's a good way to just kind of boost morale heading into the playoffs. You're down 45-7 against crosstown rival Washington. Never want to lose Washington, especially not in this fashion. But you look at it another way, Washington's a good team. They just got the better of Lincoln tonight, and it wasn't even close. But as they get another good screen play here, that's going to be another first down for them as they keep this ball moving.
A good job by Lincoln Hope, trying to score here, trying to, like I said, boost morale. And this, looking at, yes, is Washington down the last few years. But yes, and like I said, this isn't a full-on guarantee, but the freshman teams, Lincoln looked better than the freshman teams for Washington. So, no dynasty lasts forever.
Especially with high school football, it's a game of hills. You go up, you reach a top, and you can stay there for a while, but you're eventually going to come back down the hill. And we'll see when that happens for Washington. But this year, overall, after a bad start, they have rebounded extremely well. They have won 5 in a row, now going to be 6 after this. Finish off the year at 7-2. Probably as the most informed team in the state outside of O'Gorman, depending on how their game goes tonight. They have a lot of positives going into the playoffs.
Oh yeah, a lot of positives. Only thing I'd say to Washington at this point, make sure the secondary is a little improved. That's been a problem in other games. Not really tonight.
Not really tonight.
Make sure you got that kicking game for important close games. You don't want to have to. You want to be able to do everything possible. And a touchdown should be 7 points. You shouldn't have to think twice. Try and get the 7 points. It should just be 7. Yeah, but it's not. We're not trying to, go against Freddie Fredericks or Luke Beards. It's just a lot of high school kickers are like this. Outside of, I believe, one for Rapids and Stevens kid with a great leg and a few others.
Yes. This is how most high school kickers, a lot of high school kickers in America look, especially in South Dakota. Yeah. It's just what we see.
They're position players.
Typically they're position players who also kick. They're on the option, a high option toss there. Gets a solid gain there. I believe that's going to be a gain of 5 there for the Patriots. 2 minutes, 40 seconds left in this game. This half has gone by extremely fast. here with both teams kind of sticking to the run, short pass game. It's kind of clock's been moving.
And Lincoln has 2 timeouts. I believe if they score, it'll probably be under 2 minutes when Washington gets the ball back. I think Washington can really just run it out. Lincoln, I don't think is going to try and do any clock management here. Just
as Thompson throws it. This one's long and incomplete. Knocked down there by the Warriors secondary. That's going to bring up 3rd and 5 now from the 10-yard line. 2:11 left in this one. As things begin to wrap up, what did you see? What were really the keys of the game tonight for Washington?
Keys of the game tonight for Washington were, well, Johansson dominated as they were out the whole Warrior offense. Dominated Gabe Pearson. They looked great every single offensive drive. Didn't look on side. And the Warrior defense looked just as good, really holding Lincoln only 7 points. But I mean, Johansson Bay was almost like a video game out there, just right down the field wherever they were and scored.
Yeah, they were completely unstoppable there, and that pass goes incomplete to bring up 4th and 5 from the 10. Interesting here. What do? Do you kick the field goal? I mean, it's 4-5-7.
I think you go for it at this point. And Thompson, I think they're going to go for it. It looks like they're giving a play call to Logan Needles, number 84, and they're going to.
They are going to go for it here. Yeah, on 4th and 5 from the 10-yard line. 2:07 left at this point. Get a touchdown. Get some good feelings. Get that feeling of getting in the end zone before you go into the playoffs. And that pass dropped
by Logan Needles.
That was just a drop. He was wide open too. So Logan Needles misses a wide open touchdown opportunity. Washington gets the ball back at the 10-yard line.
Of course, he had beaten Dylan Versalis by a few yards on that one. Versalis about 3 or 4 yards behind him there, so he was wide open, just could
not hold in the corner. And it wasn't necessarily a tiptoe grab. It was just kind of just didn't look it in.
Yeah, he had a little bit of space. He didn't have to drag his feet there at all. Just
So interesting here. 2 minutes left. More likely than not, we'll see the Warriors just kind of wrap this one up. Thompson Barons, and now are we? So we're going to have a timeout here from Washington. Must be a personnel issue more than anything. I don't think it's a strategy timeout up 45-7. It'll be interesting to see once again 45-7 here. 2 minutes left in this one. Interesting to see how Washington really, I would guess that they go and run out the clock, but there is no guarantee of that here. Maybe they'll take a shot with Thompson and just give him a chance to air it out.
Thompson, quarterback battle the next 2 or 3 years here. Could be interesting, but yeah, these are the future. These are the future Warriors and some future Patriots out here playing right now, and it'll be interesting to see how Washington does next year with a lot of most people on the offense not returning.
And now the run to the outside gets a gain of 3, I believe, is going to be marked there. So good run there, a solid run in terms of trying to run out the clock there for the Warriors, as we'll see if they start to really run out the clock.
Yeah. Students will slowly start to make their way towards the newly renovated Howard Field locker rooms. I've been in here for about 2 years now and greet their teams. Proud of them. Warrior fans proud of the team after a 45-7 win. Patriots fans proud of the team after a loss. You have to be proud of. You have to be proud to be a member of the team, and if you're not, then it's just a poor sportsman.
Yeah, and that's what we'll see. Win or loss, that's one thing you have to give credits to Lincoln fans and other teams that have had poor years. That's the thing you gotta love about high school football is no matter what, there will be people there to cheer you on.
Yep,
whether you're the worst team in the state that doesn't make the playoffs, or whether you're the best team in the state, there will be people to cheer you on.
A good amount of Lincoln students stayed, not too many. And same with Washington.
Same with Washington.
Thought a few might leave earlier, but
and part of that is it helps that the weather's not exactly terrible. And that helps a lot. And now the Warriors will hand it off up the middle, get a short gain.
Yeah. Should do it.
And we'll see. It's kind of a surprise to see so many people stay with just, you look at the score, it was never really competitive by any stretch. And interesting to see how many people that actually stayed. Especially with stuff like the start of the NBA basketball season,
Thursday
MLB
night football,
playoffs.
a lot of Broncos fans are
a lot
out
of Broncos fans in the area. Interesting to see how many fans stayed. Good to see that, to support these high school football players, and that is it. 45-7, Washington with the win over Lincoln here to end the regular season at 7-2. Right now, they sit at the 3rd seed, but with plenty of games left to go tonight, things could definitely change. And that's going to be all for me. Along with me is August Mills. I'm Caden Sheets. That's all today. Once again, 45-7, Washington beats Lincoln at Howard Wood Field.